I declare, let there be music.
Good morning, Aberdeen. You're listening to the KAHS, where local rock has a home. And speaking of local rock, we got a living legend with us today. Somebody that takes us way back to the 80s. Former member of Black Eyes, Saber, and new CDF. That's all I'm going to tell you until we come back. But first, we got some local artists. Some of you might have heard of, called Metal Church, with the hits just keep on coming. And the hits just keep on coming. Metal Church, February 19th at the DNR, with Clinton Eastwood's opening up for them. If you want to see their newest video, go to loudwire.com. Search them. They are impressive. Trace?
Yeah?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, what'd you do last night?
I researched.
What would you have researched? I mean, what lousy teacher gives you a research project?
You, of course.
Oh, that's right. It's me.
Always.
Well, what did I have you research?
A huge variety of music artists.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, which brings me up to our point today. We are the home of local rock.
Yes, we are.
And one of the things we like to feature is local artists.
We very much do.
Yeah, including voices from the past. And one of our voices from the past is our living legend here. Yeah, living legend, Bill Pitts.
Woo!
Bill Pitts.
Thank you.
And Bill, tell us a little bit about yourself. What makes you a living legend?
Well, I don't know what makes me a living legend. I never have thought of myself in that way, but
The fact that you're living is important.
yeah, that's a big part of it.
I got the first part
The
down.
legendary part, I'm not so sure about, but
Well, you played with some local bands that anybody that knows something about the Grace Harbor music, and for those of you who don't listen or don't know, and you're driving through town the first time and you think Aberdeen, home of Nirvana. Well, you know what? Yeah, Nirvana was great. Okay, we'll give them their comeuppance. But and I've said this so many times, Trace. Some of the best musicians off the harbor are people most people outside the harbor have not heard of.
Oh, no. Metal Church? I did not hear. I mean, we've all heard of Nirvana, you know? I mean, everybody. I'm pretty much annoyed by it. But until I, joined the radio class, you introduced me to Metal Church. I heard nothing about them, and I think they're great. They're like a sidekick of Iron Maiden to me.
Yeah, well,
they're awesome.
They're awesome, and there's other members of this great community that haven't made it off the harbor. Steve Brown.
Mm-hmm. We have several Steve Brown.
Yeah,
songs.
Mike Peterson, drummer extraordinaire that played with every band in the harbor.
2 Rams and a Dog.
No, he hasn't played with that one. But Bill, you go back to where during the hair metal band,
yeah.
People that remember Black Ice. In fact, your mom brought up Black Ice when she was on the air last.
I bet she did.
She did, and so she'd know Bill here. And Saber, I remember those two bands from the early 80s.
Yep.
And so take us, what have you been doing for the last 30 years?
Well, after Saber, I was in a group called Nyko, and we played a lot of clubs, and we played more top 40 music than as opposed to original songs. And we did that a lot, and it just got kind of old to me, and I wanted to be a little more creative than playing the latest top 40 song. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of removed myself from the whole music scene and built a studio and started writing and recording songs.
Mm-hmm. And you've come out recently with a CD, and it's called The Adventures of Dr. Mumbai.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, it doesn't say anything about Bill Pitts on here anywhere except for featuring. I mean, you've put yourself in as a real small role on the outset, but this is your concept album.
Right.
Why doesn't it say Bill Pitts?
Well, no one knows who Bill Pitts is, and I thought Dr. Mumbai sounded a little bit more adventurous. Well, if anybody remembers the TV show Bewitched,
Yes.
from back in the 60s, of course I watched reruns. Anyway, there was a character on there, Dr. Bombay.
Yes, Dr. I remember that.
Yeah, who was the wacky uncle, I think.
He was a doctor.
At any rate, we all thought that'd be a great name for a band, and so I thought, well, Bombay really doesn't exist anymore, and we just brought it into the modern, and called it Dr. Mumbai.
So when we start playing this album, are we going to say it's by Bill Pitts, or are we going to say it's by the Adventures of Dr. Mumbai?
Well, the idea was that it was going to be a band called Dr. Mumbai. Mm-hmm. And this would be the first album called, The Adventures of Dr. Mumbai. And I would just be one of the primary members and, songwriters. But as it turned out, I found out that it's way more difficult to put a project like this together on the harbor than I had anticipated. So the second phase of this hasn't came to fruition yet.
Well, we're going to talk about this alleged band you have after this song. We're going to start off by playing a cut off this album, The Adventures of Dr. Mumbai. Track number 4,
Yes.
On Second Thought. And you want to tell us a little bit about this before we go into it?
Well, the whole record was an instrumental album to begin with, and including this song didn't have any vocals, but I thought the song lent itself okay to being a vocal song. So I was working with a bass player named Brian Beller on this, and he, at the time, was married to Kira Small, who was a really, really good singer, and so I invited her to sing on this, and then we had to come up with lyrics, which I'm not real. It's not my strong point. So
That's no problem with that. I mean, Great Gig in the Sky. I mean, there's no lyrics there, and she did awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at any rate, we ended up getting some lyrics together that was something other than just like the phone book, which we thought about doing at first. And so then we had Kira sing the vocals on it, which came out kind of neat.
Okay. We're going to listen to this track, and here it is from The Adventures of Dr. Mumbai. On Second Thought by Dr. Mumbai, featuring Bill Pitts. Yeah, that is something else. You know what I find that is a cross between Yes, Rush, and Pink Floyd.
Oh, wow. And that ain't bad.
No, that is not bad.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's so intricate, and yet at the same time, great stuff. And this originates on the harbor here.
You never know.
Yeah, but so you were saying that you're having troubles finding musicians to put together on this. So what did you do to get the musicians that you wanted for this CD?
I threw my hands up in the air and gave up. When I went to first start this record, what I really wanted to do with it was have it more of a collaborative effort. Mm-hmm. Whereas what we're hearing here is pretty much all coming from me, other than the solo parts and things like that. But I wanted to be a more collaborative effort. And I wanted to get a band together and have people have a little more input. And I tried for probably 2 years to make that work with local musicians on the harbor here, just trying out people. I even thought, well, man, maybe I need to go to the college and see who's the hot player now, or even the high school to see, because there's always talent everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I don't look at age or anything like that. It's just like who wants to do something interesting. And I had such a difficult time finding local musicians, although I know they're here. I blame
With
that
the
on
same
me.
mindset. That's the trick.
Right, because this is not your usual fare,
Yeah.
kind of. So I kind of thought, well, all right, I'm going to just start making the record myself, and then we'll see who I can get on board. And then that's when things got out of control.
And when you're speaking of out of control, let's go into a little more detail about that.
Well, I thought, I better research this because I want to put together, a budget for mastering and, the recording process and the whole bit, rather than just doing everything at my house, which was the way I've always done it in the past. So it's kind of like a zero budget, you just do it. And I was a fan of a group called Niacin. They're kind of a organ trio, but real high energy rocking kind of thing. And so I started doing a little research to see what it would take doing some production either in that facility or doing some of the tracking or mastering or mixing. And lo and behold, maybe a month later down the road after I had made initial contact and just left my information and my demos and here's, go to the website here's me playing all the parts, just see what you think. I got a call back from John Novello, who is one of my all-time world favorite Hammond B3 players. And kind of after just talking on the phone, I ended up having him play on a couple of the songs. Did
he play on this last track we listened to?
No, that was another guy. That was Billy Steinway playing the organ on that one.
And Billy Steinway, not to jump topics on you, he's got a background with playing with Chaka Khan, Daz Band, Adamant.
Yeah,
and Gary Wright.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really, really cool stuff. I just sort of found him by way of Billy Halting, who is also on this record and plays marimba. And hey, Billy, big shout out there, big thank you to him.
And
he
Billy
used to play with Zappa, right?
Frank Zappa.
Yeah. Well, Billy Halting played with not Frank's band, but Frank's son Dweezil's band, who was out on the road playing Frank's music. So he was out playing his father's music with this big band, and Billy played marimba and percussion in that band. But going back even further, I had first seen Billy Halting play here at the Aberdeen High School in the auditorium when he was with Maynard Ferguson. Right. Not only that, it was Maynard Ferguson's electric band, so it was real high energy stuff.
Was that before his hit or after?
That may have been after. I think it was after. He was
what was the
branching out and doing a little bit different stuff.
What's the name of that song, Maynard Ferguson? It was an instrumental.
I wouldn't know.
It escapes me right now, but he's had a few actually. At any rate, he was here with a band called High Voltage.
That sounds familiar.
They're really good. They have some music out there. I encourage people to go check it out. But anyway, Billy was playing percussion and playing marimba and marimba cat, which is like a MIDI instrument. In that band. And, he years later, when I was working with him on this project, he said, I remembered playing that gig up, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. This little place, Aberdeen on Grace Harbor, Billy remembers it with Maynard.
Maynard Ferguson. Gonna Fly Now from the Rocky movie.
That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't remember it. I had to Google it. So, anyway, back to your story.
Well, I was. I just found it kind of amusing that he remembered this place. I don't know if maybe it was just raining a lot that day and he had to swim from the car. Not sure.
Possibly.
Did that yesterday, actually.
So at any rate, he did. I do have one short little story he told me about playing up here. He said he went into the bathroom at the auditorium, and written on the wall, somebody had scribed, "Godzilla died for your sins." I thought that was kind of interesting. Here.
Wait, is this at the old,
The old place.
high school?
This was at the
Go Godzilla!
so
Oh, blue oyster color throwback. Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Anyway, along with your story.
I think that was really it. I don't have. See, my stories aren't overly exciting. There's no real big bang at the end of them. I don't.
Okay, but you do have Dweezil Zappa playing on this too.
Yeah, Dweezil, very creative fellow.
Yeah, a little on the bizarre side.
Well, it seems like all these artists that you brought together, they all have their, they're all equal as one, but at the same time though they're so diverse. That's what I found
Right.
doing the research. That's what I found out about it is that they come from so many different backgrounds.
Right. And that's
and
what I love about
that's what
doing
makes
a project like this.
Yeah, that's what makes a good album is when you have so much diversity. It really comes together beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah, I've always liked music that would hit you maybe with something unexpected. So maybe you're listening to a rock song, and it's grooving
Yes.
along with heavy guitars.
That's what I noticed about this album is it's different. It's very different. And you know what? Difference good,
Oh, great. Yeah, I shouldn't say I tried to make it different. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like to come from different areas. I like to hear things that you might not expect in tunes. Like it might go from a heavy guitar to an oboe part, or a saxophone, or what have you. It's kind of wide open. I like it that way.
Okay, we're going to play another cut from this album,
Yes.
from The Adventures of Dr. Mumbai. And this song is track number 8, Double Plus Good. And Bill, a little bit background on this?
Double plus good. Well, I always try to, if it's an instrumental song, I try to keep it a little interesting in that there's maybe some references there. So double plus good. This is a little bit of a reference to Orwell's 1984 book.
Okay, Double Plus Good. Bill Pitts, Dr. Mumbai, here on the KAHS. Dr. Mumbai, Double Plus Good, featuring Bill Pitts.
Ooh, that sounded good.
Oh, yeah. Didn't it sound good, though? Bill.
Wow, thanks for playing that instrumental song over the airwaves. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we might have to play that a little bit more than once here. That is an outstanding. Now, which instrument did you play on that?
On that song, thanks to multi-track recording, I played all the instruments except for the drums.
Well, who did the drums, Bill?
Marco Miniman.
Not the Marco Miniman.
The
This guy
Marco
is
Miniman.
crazy.
He's a crazy madman. I have no idea how he agreed to play on my recordings, but he did.
Well, what's so special about Marco Miniman? I mean, does he play with a major band? Or
Do you live on a rock, Velo?
I know. I'm baiting him.
Okay, he plays in a little band called the Joe Satriani Band.
Not Joe Satriani.
Joe Satch, the
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he plays in Joe's current lineup, along with bassist buddy Brian Beller, who is also on.
I
Dr.
gotta
Mumbai
ask
CD.
you a question. How did you get him on your album? And how did he agree to do
boy.
only one song? Or did he do more than one song?
Now we're talking about Marco or Brian.
Marco.
Oh, Marco. Okay, no, he plays on the entire record.
How did you nail him to do that?
I asked him,
Who'da thunk?
I played him I played him the demos with me playing the crummy drum parts, and then he agreed. Okay, I better fix this. This guy's gonna have some problems.
So you're saying he did it out of pity?
He joined just because he felt bad.
Probably no. So yeah, and he'll be on the upcoming.
There's
CD
an
I'm
upcoming
working on
Dr.
too.
Mumbai?
There's going to be another record coming up. I couldn't say exactly when right now. I'm still in the tracking and creating process. And
Is this going to be an instrumental? Or are we going to have some more vocals?
It'll have some instrumental stuff on it, but it's going to be more of a vocal record. At least that's what I'm planning.
Okay.
So.
Well, I tell you, this is totally impressive with everything. Bill, if we were to play another quick cut off this one, which song would you like us to play next?
Well, if you're a real adventuresome radio station, you could play any one of those you want. But maybe what did we think? Number 10?
Trout Bum?
Yeah, let's try that one. Sure.
Okay, Trout Bum from Dr. Mumbai here on the KAHS 106.5 FM. Trout Bum, Dr. Mumbai, featuring Bill Pitts and his cast of characters. So many to name. Marco Minimum from Joe Satriani, and we were just talking over the song that you did an amazing job getting all these people together.
Well, I found out in this world you never know unless you ask.
And that's what I'm amazed with. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at all these people. Originally when I opened this CD up, I was starting to look at all these people that you had. You know how people thank people in their album, and
right.
And I thought, well, this is real nice of him to thank all these famous people, and they must have really had an influence on his upbringing. But no, you actually had these guys playing on your album.
Yeah, that's the list of guest musicians there, not
not
my credit.
Yes.
Thanks.
One of the names that we were talking about, and Trace, seeing that you did the research on this, who's a name that stands out to you the most?
Arthur Burrow.
Arthur Burrow.
Arthur.
What's so special about Arthur?
Well, when I was doing my research, he took a part in the soundtracks of certain movies like Top Gun.
No
I don't
way.
know if you've seen it or not,
I've
or
seen
heard
it.
of it at all. Top Gun, and also another one,
Scarface?
Scarface. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Just a couple of movies that.
Yeah, just
a couple.
little ones,
little
little
parts.
ones. Yeah.
Well, so what else does he have to?
Velo.
I mean-
Velo. He recorded with the Doors.
No way.
Yes, the Doors.
Bill, is this true?
And Dr. Mumbai.
Which is even more impressive than the Doors.
Right. No, this is true, yeah.
Well, this is an amazing project you had going here. I mean, this is just something short of amazing that you put all these well-known studio musicians together, and without going into how much. Did you have to mortgage your house?
No. It was all held within reason, but they are professionals, so. But not everyone really had to get a payday to work on it. I've had a couple of these famous people actually said that they would do it just for fun,
Really?
which is amazing. But,
This is amazing. I mean, so like I was telling Trace here, Marco Minimum. You know, it's one thing to have him on one song, but what was the purpose of having him play on all of the songs?
well, usually on a rock oriented record, you want some consistency. So I had originally had Marco scheduled to play on a couple songs as a guest, but the more I thought about it, I thought, well, maybe I need to have a little more consistency here with the drums. And I asked him if he would play on the entire record, and he agreed to do so.
Wow.
Yeah, much to my chagrin, and so we just did it.
You get this just by asking.
Just by asking. Of course, you have to have tunes that they actually want to do.
Right.
So,
And which is a testament. Speaking of which, we haven't even talked about this yet. Where can I buy this album?
you can buy it on cdbaby.com.
cdbaby.com.
Right. That's where I distribute the record through. So.
Okay.
Now, how much are you selling this for?
I believe it's on there for a mere $9.99 or
Is that
something
all?
right now. Yeah.
Nothing but amazing. I mean, this is music you put on the CD and walk around your house and just have it for background music, and it's just
good house cleaning music or driving music.
Driving music.
I was actually going to mention it, but how instrumental it is. I keep going back to Pink Floyd. To me, it's a lot like Pink Floyd. It's very diverse. Things, weird tunes that you wouldn't really see in an album, and it's an album that you would put in the car late at night, and just you and you just start feeling the music. It's just you and the road.
Right. Well, I think music can evoke so much thought and feelings. That
big time.
you really don't necessarily need a vocal there trying to tell you how you might want to feel about a particular song.
One of the things that stood out when I was listening to this CD was that you incorporate an old Pink Floyd trick where you have these voices in the background, not necessarily singing,
right?
Saying words, saying phrases, screaming.
I think it was the last song we had. We played maybe track 10 and track 8. There was at the very end there was something. Somebody said something about drums or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
On the last one, Trout Bum, right?
Yes.
No, that was me just saying he's a trout bum.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, I want to play one more song.
Okay.
Before we have to sign off, and I want to try The End.
This is the end.
Yeah.
Do.
It's a short outro, so yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. In fact, let's play 13 and 14 together because they're two short tracks. One's a minute and 21 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
One's 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Alrighty.
And this is Bellarification, and then The End by Dr. Mumbai, featuring Bill Pitts, here on the KAHS 106.5 FM. Bellarification and The End by Dr. Mumbai, featuring local legend Bill Pitts. Bill, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being had. This is something else. This is I'd say one of the best musical instrumentalist CDs I've ever heard. And to think it come from somebody that Aberdeen graduate, 1982 Aberdeen graduate.
That's right.
Yeah. So, not to get into a whole lengthy subject, but you walked into the school today. It doesn't look like the same.
And I was amazed.
It doesn't look like the same school that you went to back in 1982.
No, doesn't. Come a long ways. It's pretty neat.
Well, Bill, thank you for coming in, and we hope that we are the first to feature your music on the radio on a regular basis, number one. Number two, we want the first CD that comes hot off the press on your second CD.
Awesome. Good.
And-
You'll get it.
And again, thank you for coming in, Bill. It's been a true pleasure, and we're going to play the heck out of this CD. This is good. This is good stuff. Good
Here and at home.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that because given the style of music it is, you don't know how much it means to hear that someone actually likes it and wants to listen to it.
Especially after so much, blood and guts that you've gone through, for what, 2 years?
Yeah, it took a couple of years to put
Probably,
that together. A little more given, all the pre-production with the demos and things. But
Well, you know what? Those 2 years were worth it. This is a great album.
Yeah.
So.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Bill, on a good project.
Thanks.
Yeah, which wraps us up, brings us to
Yep.
the end of our hour. Unfortunately, we have
Sadly.
to kick Bill out and, get everybody to class. So,
Well, I think we could talk about music all day.
yeah,
but-
we possibly can. But, well, this has been Velo
Trace.
and Bill Pitts on the radio on the KAHS. And here's today's news.